You know, for those who like to sneak out in the middle of the night without their wife or neighbors knowing, you better get an electric car. Good morning, guys. That's the BMW iX. That's the key. Does it unlock by itself? Okay, it doesn't. So I have to put my fingers in, touch it. Whoa, look at that. The ambient lightings are around the edges of the window. Whoa. Whoa. That is something refreshing. Okay, let's get in. Explore it later, but let's drive. You know, for those who like to sneak out in the middle of the night without their wife or neighbors knowing, you better get an electric car. Because you can go as fast as a Lamborghini in one of these and nobody would know that you're up to something. Alright?
When I switched to Pro mileage, in my case, I got 47% of savings for that car.
Pro mileage was the only one that gave me 5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper, a lot less. Turn up!
You know what? It's becoming rather difficult to dissect electric cars because all of them does this exceptionally well. What do I mean by this? In petrol combustion engines, every car reviewer, would judge how smooth the car is, how comfortable it is, how quiet it is. And in petrol combustion cars, it is a race, it is a pursuit to achieve this supposedly perfection. But in electric cars, it is inherent. That means they are by default quiet, smooth, extremely comfortable, and not only that, because the batteries are placed low down in the car, they have a very low center of gravity. Inherently, of course, this is an SUV. There are no intentions to hide the proportions of an SUV in this car, unlike the Hyundai Ioniq 5 behind me. For those who saw the Ioniq 5 from pictures and immediately ruled it out as a small youngster's hatchback, I tell you, go see the car in showrooms, because what Hyundai has done was to scale everything up so that it looks deceptively smaller than it is. Especially from pictures, it really just looks like that of a Volkswagen Golf. You thought it's the size of a Volkswagen Golf, but the Ioniq 5 is this size, albeit a few inches lower, but almost having the same ground clearance. How's driving this car for half a morning? Not even half a morning, just halfway through my morning journey. I know the range is good in this car. It has a large battery, it has good range, and I know BMW is very early in its electrification journey. But I will be lying if I tell you I do not now have a little bit of range anxiety. Alright? We took the car yesterday. My team took the car yesterday, and of course they went for some B-rolls, they shot some videos. Oh, there's a F430 Spider. What a beauty. What a beauty. To think that my car is actually faster. That's weird. Sport. Let's see how loud. Oh, what's that sound? My God! Oh, the buffeting. Oh, electric cars are just so fast. Right? They just pick up and go. No questions asked. No sound. Nothing. They just go. I tell you, electric cars are just... They made everything easy. And there's no doubts about it. You know, oh, it's an SUV. It is still an SUV. Tidy, but SUV-y. Alright? Pretty SUV-y. Soundproofing, I think it's because of the fact that this car is so quiet that the only thing I tend to hear now is the road roar and wind. But they are by no means in any way intrusive. So easy to make EVs comfortable, quiet, you know. Alright, nothing much to talk about in the handling department. By no means this car is a sporting character when it comes to negotiating brands. Mostly because, first of all, it's an SUV, but BMW has been doing SUVs for quite some time, and BMWs are known to be able to make SUVs that corner really well. Sit into the corner. Now, sitting into the corner is not something that this iX does particularly well. In a way that you turn, yes, the weight transfer happened, and then it's supposed to sit there, but it has a lot of secondary motions while doing it. Alright? Maybe it's when I release the throttle, it has the recuperation going on, but basically it drives sort of like the previous gen X5 hybrid. It drives sort of like that, okay? Even though it can pick up speeds like that of an X5M. What if I'm just a regular dad driving this? I can foresee my kids will be very, very comfortable. Yeah, they will be. Because it's just quiet, soothing. Acceleration is just there. We're already doing it without feeling the push. You're already doing it. And one thing that BMW did really well with this is the off throttle and on throttle recuperation braking. That means braking that was done by the electric motor recuperating energy instead of the calipers. I think this part they did it better than the XC40. Certainly better than the XC40 hybrid. Do I have the confidence in this SUV to do a sudden lane change like how I would in a Cayenne or a Macan. Nope. Nope. In fact, in terms of tracing and tracking its line on high-speed drives, I think even the plug-in hybrid XC90 does it a little bit better than this. It's very clear driving this car on roads like this, you constantly need to hold the steering wheel to do a little bit of corrections here and there. But I'm nitpicking here. It's by no means clumsy. Alright, it's not there towards clumsy yet. One thing that baffles me is that this car has frameless doors. I mean, if they were to pursue a direction of a crossover kind of form factor, to have a sloping roof, sporty and all that, then the frameless doors would come in, you know, pretty logically. But they went ahead with an all-out SUV form factor and all-out SUV driving characteristic, and then it has frameless doors. Not that it's any drawback, because wind noise suppression is pretty good, but it just baffled me a little bit. Well, the good thing with frameless doors is that when you park at a very tight spot, right, and you can lower the windows to ease ingress and egress. Very easy when you have the windows lowered on a frameless door car. And I have to say the sensation of speed is very different as well, because especially when you don't hear any sound, you don't feel any G-force pushing you, the sensation of speed is very different. The judgment of traction is also very different. There's no information, no feedback, no feel. Even though the steering's weightage is done pretty well, accurate steering, the weighting of the steering wheel is done alright, but by no means is confidence inspiring. Okay? Right. We're gonna do the mountain climb now. Why don't I talk about its interior? Totally different graphics than the usual BMWs. There's a lot of screen real estate there, and I haven't like toggled around. That's better. I see an Ioniq 5. What a beauty. What a beautiful car. Now, speaking of exterior design, there's no challenge. Alright? Regardless of how we want to talk about, you know, taking in time to absorb its exterior designs, this car won't win any beauty contest. Alright? Unlike the Ioniq 5, which just won a lot of awards. Plenty. There's a lot of innovative design cues that came off the Ioniq 5, which we foresee would probably affect some other cars down the road. As for this one, again, it baffles, because out of nowhere, out of absolutely nowhere, it almost seems like this is a design study. A lot of roll there. And my staff picked this car up yesterday from BMW. They went for some B-roll shoots, and then they packed it to my house. I was left with 66%. I'm not driving fast in any way. I'm now down to 41% this morning. So, just from morning leaving my house, 66% to here, I'm down to 41. It gives me range anxiety. I'm being honest. All right. I haven't done any kickdowns except that brief moment just now after the toll. And okay, this car feels its weight. Oh, the weight is there. The weight is certainly there. There are no sounds. I can't tell what I'm doing in terms of the wheels, but so far it's steering cleanly. And I feel the weight, but okay, the XC40 is certainly more fun up these roads, 100%. Okay, I see some fast cars coming from behind, an Aston, beautiful Vanquish. There's JT. Oh, lovely Cayman. There's a V12. What more? Sound. I'm now down to 38%. I'm beginning to keep looking at the speedo. Now, of course, we're not supposed to bring an EV out for morning drive, but this road leads to a resort where a lot of families would go and whoa. What a sound! What a sound! That's BMW at its finest. Oh. You guys hear that? What a brakes! Oh. Oh. Okay, I've had enough. It's an EV for comfortable daily driving as a second car in the family, for school runs, for grocery runs, for going to office and back. Yes, it is an appliance. Apart from the frameless doors, there's nothing on this car that suggests any remotely sporty driving intention. I believe BMW is aware about this. It's not a limitation of their capabilities, right? We know what this company is capable of. But they just decided to just let it be a comfortable, lumpy, big family sofa on electrons that does your daily grind. Nothing more. The interior is very refreshing. The design is new, certainly provocative. In a way, it looks minimalistic until you look at the details. It's by no means minimalistic. There are a lot of things that you know, in the 70s there was a kind of architecture that, or the 60s, you know, that are pretty brutal, you know, in their approach. And I think this is one of it. They just want it to be controversial. They want it to be so different from anything else they are doing, and they just want you to like it or hate it and create conversations and get people to take note and take notice of it. And they want the buyers of these cars to know that they're buying something different. Because if you want to blend into the crowd, like how the XC40 EV is, you have the iX3, you have the i4 is stylish. i4 is stylish. This is just provocative. It's almost as if it's a design study, you know, or BMW just let their designers just let loose and let them go ahead. And this is the result. There are a lot of things that are just so different. The infotainment looks like a tablet. It looks like a tablet with a little home button here, and where if not, it's just one blank screen, almost like an ambient artwork. The home button is so small, I really need to aim for it. These are all the widgets, very large icons, very beautiful graphics. It's just huge. Now it feels like a touchscreen TV. I can't seem to have the dexterity to aim at the home button while I'm on the move. Okay, and now I'm down to 35%. It's a little bit worrying because I've sort of used up 30% of its juice leaving my home. And from calculations, I was supposed to have 240 km, but of course we know electric appliances use them up faster when you're doing things like these. But by no means I'm driving fast, you know. Are there any charges in Genting? That's my concern now. Alright, I'm gonna stop the video here because there's nothing much else to explore about this driving department. It's just comfortable, not enjoyable to drive on these roads. XC40 is certainly more enjoyable. I'm not sure about the Ioniq behind, and I can't explore anything on the screen because it's just so vast and everything is presented very graphic-y. So yeah, let's just hope I reach there and has a way to reach home. Alright, cheers.